Hello everyone, welcome to EduTap and also welcome to the Mega Revision series for NABARD Grade 8 2021. And yeah, so today is the sixth lecture of ARD Static series. Hi Payal, good evening. Hi Millie. Millie is our regular student. And hi Nibedita, good evening. Surendra, hi, good evening. All right, so yeah, let's start. So, as I say in every lecture when I start, or we said in the announcement section also, that these top 200 questions they have been made by the thorough analysis our team has done of the previous year questions paper, and so that is why all these questions either they are somehow related to what was asked in previous year, or they are selected from the important topics that are from the exam point of view. And these lectures we in these lectures we are not explaining everything. We have different playlist for that. In this is kind of, you can say, a check or a test, how much do you know till now, or how much you have prepared till now, or what topics you need to brush on. And if you haven't studied yet, or you are in the middle of preparation, you can get an idea that what topics are important that you need to cover before appearing in the examination. So this is a sixth lecture, and yeah, so let's start with it. And but before that, to our new audience, kindly subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you never miss any video. And you can also join our Telegram channel, where you can find all the free study material, including the PDF of this particular lecture, which will definitely help up to boost up your preparation. And yeah, EduTab, it has come with a comprehensive MCQ course. This particular course, it has 3000 MCQs of both ARD and ESI. In that, we have covered everything such as government schemes, reports and indices, agriculture, rural development, current affairs, and this everything is according to the latest pattern of 2021, the change syllabus of NABARD. And as you know, when you do MCQs, or when you follow this particular method for examination, the retention is more than studying the paragraphs, right? So if you want to know more about this course, or if you want to buy it, the link, it is in the description box given below, so do check it out. Next, we are currently offering 40% off on our all the courses. That would end the offer this midnight, so do check it out, and you can get flat 40% off in this particular in these subjects or courses. For that, you have to use the code Rakhi. All right, so yeah, so let's start with question number 1, that says Central Institute for Research on Buffaloes is located at. Okay, so as I say in every lecture, that a question from this particular section from ARD static has always been come in in this NABARD examination. Every year they have asked about any institute, that it is located where. You can find all the institutes on internet, right? So that is why I am also including every at least one question in every lecture, so that you have a better understanding, or here also, or if you don't know, then you get to know from here also. Okay, so Pooja says B, Payal says B, Anubhav 2, Uttam B. Yeah, so everybody saying Hisar, and the correct answer is Hisar only. So in this particular institute, that is for research on buffaloes. So you can assume that the focus, it would be on buffaloes only, right? To increase the product quality, I can say, or to increase their build up, or to make them suitable for a particular area wise, right? So a lot of artificial insemination has been done in this particular institute, and everything that is related to buffaloes to increase its productivity, this particular institute, it is responsible for that. I hope this thing is clear. Okay, let's come to question number 2, that is, topping is practiced in which of the following crops? So topping, it is a intercultural operation. Intercultural operation are what? The time between the sowing of crop and then the harvesting of it, it is known as intercultural period. And whatever we do on the field to increase the productivity of that particular crop, for example, we do weeding, right? What is weeding? The removal of unwanted plants, that is what weeding is. And in something earthing, we do in potato. So there are different intercultural operations. So similar is topping, and you have to guess that which of the following is the correct answer. So say Yeah, so people are sowing tobacco, and the correct answer to this is no. The correct answer to this is tobacco only. Okay. So tobacco, it is what is topping? Topping, it is the removal of terminal bud. I'll show you the picture also, so you have better understanding of this. See, yes, there is some error in this particular slide, but when you get the slide in Telegram, when you'll download it from Telegram, you will have the revised version in which the error they have been corrected, so you need not to worry about that, right? So what happens, what is topping? So in topping, what we do, this you can see this portion, right? This portion has you can say flowers of this particular plant, right? So what happens in case of tobacco? We What is the commercial part that we need? We do not need grains, seeds, or flowers for it, right? We are dependent on the leaves of tobacco. So what happens if the flower, it starts to grow, or the seeds start to produce? Of course, some of the energy of the plant, it would be used there to make flour, to for fertilization purpose, then for making of seed and whatsoever. So a lot of energy, it is wasted there of the plant, but we do not want that. We want that energy, that metabolism that is required to make more foliage. What is foliage? That plant portion, leaf portion, that is known as foliage, right? So what we do, we cut down that portion. So we'll cut down this portion, because if this portion would not exist, the plant, it would not waste its energy on making this flowers or whatever portion, buds portion it is, and then it would focus on more on expanding its leaves, right? So this particular process, it is known as what? It is known as stopping. I hope this particular thing, it is clear to all. Okay. So okay, Bhumika, I'll check it, and I'll tell you in the next lecture. Okay, because as far as I am concerned, whatever I said was right, but still, because you have raised the doubt, I will definitely look at it. You need not to worry. So I'll either comment it down, or I'll explain in my next lecture. Okay. So I hope this topping is clear to you all. Shall I move to the next question? Okay. So now question number 3, it says the crop regions in India that receive an average rainfall of less than 500 can be classified as. Okay, so you have to guess that which is the right answer. Yeah, so the correct answer to this is option number 1, that is arid. Okay. So what happens, according to the amount of rainfall that is poured in particular region, or that falls in particular areas in India, so they have been classified accordingly. So arid, we have different section, that is arid, semi-arid, then we have sub-arid, then we have humid. So what are these terms? Arid means a place where there is very less moisture in the atmosphere. And why is it so? Because that is a dry region, there is water scarcity. So that area where there is a scarcity of water and there is very little amount of moisture that is present in our atmosphere, that particular area, it is known as arid area. And as you can see there, the rainfall is less than 500 Okay. So that is why that particular place is dry, and dry places are known as what? They are known as arid. Next comes semi-arid. So what would be semi-arid? Semi-arid would be the region where you can say, yes, there is scarcity of water, but not, those places are not as dry as the arid places. Okay, so those places are known as what? Semi-arid. So here you can see from 500 to 750 the rainfall, average rainfall in semi-arid places are 500 to 750 Then comes what? Then comes sub-arid. Sub-arid are region where rainfall is 750 to 1000. Sorry, yeah, so that is 750 to 2000, right? So again, there would be lesser amount of rainfall, or here you can say significant, but still it is the area that is still drier in comparison to what a normal condition would be. And then comes humid condition. In humid region, the rainfall, it would be 1000 mm average, right? So in these places the water is so much that even the air is is full of moisture, or it consists a lot of moisture, and that is why those regions are known as humid regions. So comment down, do you understand all these four parts? Because I am trying that, although I have said that this is not much of an explanatory portion, but still I feel like if I'm teaching something, at least I could tell you the options, right? So do tell me, do comment down if you have understood all the four types of regions that exist in India due to the average rainfall they receive, right? Yeah. Okay, so yeah, you understood, right? Okay, so now let's move to the next question. And now the question number 4, it says, which of the following devices is used to measure the growth of plants? Okay, so we know that plants grow, right? Because if you can see significant change in height in plant, of course they are growing in nature. But you know, because when we do science, when you go for science, then we have to have proper stats, proper data, that how much it is growing, or what is the its you can say what is the pace of the growth of the plant, right? You have to look at everything. So one of the following is the instrument that helps us to do so. Payal says 3, Purnima says 1, Harsh A, Ankit 1. Right, so most of the people they are saying 1. So the correct answer to this one is crescograph. I'll show you the image also. Yeah, so this is how a crescograph looks like, and it is a device for measuring the growth of the plant. So basically, see, in your exam only, if devices are asked, only they would ask what device is used for what. They won't go for how they work, or you know, like things like that. What are the parts? It is very rare that they would ask that. Parts for once they can ask, but that is also very rare. Otherwise they would just go for which instrument is used for what. So that is what we would focus on, right? Because we have to prepare from NABARD point of view, exam point of view, right? And this particular, it was made by Sir Jagdish Chandra Bose. So our Indian scientist, he was the one to make this particular device, which would help to what, to measure what, to measure the growth in plant. And it has two basic parts. One is one smoked glass plate, and one is clockwork gears. I'll show you what these are, the clockwork gears, right? So this picture have been attached so that you understand, you can understand more. And what is smoked glass plate? It is a glass plate which has been smoked, right? So these two are the main parts of this particular device, and this is all you need to study from exam point of view. Okay, so I hope this particular thing is clear to you all. And shall we move to the next question? Right, okay, we will move to the next question. And the next question says, which of the following type of seeds does not come under the purview of Department of Seed Certification? Does not come. Look at, concentrate on the word not. See, what most of the students they miss, what the common mistake that they do in examination, they do not read the particular question properly. Because they would just go for, they would skip this word not. That is a very big word, okay, in this particular context. So they would skip that. So read the question properly, do not skip anything, and then you will be able to answer properly. So in this question you have to guess the answer. And Uttam, Ankit, Nivedita says 3, James Bond says 1, then Harsh says 3. Okay, so the option is 3. I guess James Bond have to look at the case again. So question number sorry, option number 3 is the truthfully labeled seed. And the explanation to it is, see, what are truthfully labeled seeds? See, this nucleus seed, breeder seed, and this we have already covered in previous lectures. Okay, so for now we'll go for truthfully labeled seed. In rest of the following that has been mentioned in your options, they are named according to the genetic purity, how much pure. And by genetic purity means what the breeder wanted to incorporate in that particular seed. That is the genetic purity we are talking about. So in truthfully labeled seed, we do not go for genetic purity, we go for physical purity. Okay, physical purity and germination. What is physical purity? For example, the seed, it is not broken, it is the seed coat, it is not damaged, right? So this is the physical purity, that if you look at it, you would say, yeah, these are good seeds, they are not broken, or they are not damaged in any way, they are not eaten by insects. or pest, right? So this is what physical purity is. And also germination. So we have to look at that. If we grow this plant, we're not talking about how much yield it can give. That would be the that would be what, that would be its genetic purity. We just want to look at, if we sow seed, will it grow or not? That would be its physical purity. So truthfully labeled seeds are those seeds where we go for physical purity and germination, and we do not really bother about what yield it can give, how much productive it can be. That is a different thing. So this truthfully label, what does the question mean? Question means that, see, in case of nucleus seed, breeder seed, register seeds, the rest of the where genetic purity is concerned, so the particular organization, it has to take a certification from the Department of Seed Certification, that they would check, this particular department, it would check that whether they literally have that genetic purity in their seed or not. And if they have, then a particular certificate is given to them, or those batch of seeds, that yes, these belong to this particular category. But in case of this truthfully labeled seed, we do not give such certification, or we do not need to have the green signal from this particular department. Okay, so these are known as what, truthfully labeled seed. So labeling is compulsory. Labeling means at least people should means our authentication should be there, right? So there should be authority which will say yes, these are labeled seed, but there's not particular certification. That is, certification is voluntary, means you can go for certification and you cannot go for certification. That is up to you. So mostly this can be done by farmers also, because now farmers, they just have to grow and they have to maintain the quality of the seeds, physical quality of the seeds. And because in genetic to maintain the genetic purity, there are a lot of not confusion, but it is a tedious task to do, to protect it from the outer pollen sources, right? So that is why this is quite easier method to go for the production of seeds. I hope this thing is clear to you all. Next question says, dash is the ability of soil to produce a particular crop or sequences of crops under a specified management system. Now this question I have deliberately incorporated in our today's lecture, because sometimes it happens that a kind of different, just a statement, it comes in your examination which answer you do not know. So how to tackle with such questions? To tackle with such questions, you have to look for the particular options that have been provided to you all, and in those options, then you can look at that what is the best word or sentence or whatever has been given in your option that best suits with the particular definition or the statement that has been given in the question. Now here the says ability of soil. Okay, ability of a soil to produce a particular crop. Now you have option: soil fertility, soil productivity, plant science, crop sequence. Okay, so the soil fertility, what is fertility? That yes, your soil, it has particular minerals. Okay, it is fine, it is good in particular type. Okay, so we can somehow we can keep it as an option that yes, it can be the answer, right? Next comes soil productivity. Now yes, you have minerals. Okay, your soil is fertile, it has minerals in it, but there is a lack of water. Then what would you do? If there is lack of water, would the soil be able to produce particular crop? No, right? Or if you can say the soil, it has excessive water, it is fertile, it has minerals, but it has excessive of water, then what happen? Would the particular plant grow, or the particular crop grow? No. So this productivity, it is the wholesome of whatever that is required by the plant from the soil. Next come plant science and crop sequence is growing one type of crop after another, so soil has nothing to do with it. That is our choice, that what crop we are using, right? And in case of plant science is studying about the plant, it is not studying about the soil. Here we're talking about ability of soil. So what would be the best answer from option 1 and 2? The answer would be soil productivity. Okay, that is not crop, but that is the soil productivity. Okay, so I hope this particular thing is clear to you all. It is the ability of soil to produce a particular crop under specified management condition. What is specified means we have given the specific management that we needed according to that particular crop, because when we are doing commercial agriculture we would want the maximum yield, right? And for doing so we have to be specific about our inputs. That is why this particular word management system is written. Okay, producing capacity of soil. So all productive soils are fertile, but not all fertile soils may be productive. What does this sentence means? If you're saying this is a productive soil, so it would definitely be fertile. But if we are saying that it is a fertile soil, it is not compulsory that it would be productive also, or it would be helpful in growing a crop also, or plant also, right? So this was about this particular concept. So how to tackle with such questions if you do not understand what the question demands, or you do not know the specific term that could be used, although you understand the sentence well, just go for the options and then try to analyze what each option means, and then try to fit that particular option in the sentence. So that is how you should go for your examination. Okay, now we'll go to question number 7, which says what is the field capacity of a indigenous plow. So field capacity basically means how can we plow a particular how much we can plow a particular area in a particular hours. That has been mentioned in your options, and you have to guess the correct answer. Okay. Yeah, so Payal says 3, and Ankit says 4, Shikant says 3, Supriya says 4, Purnima says 4, and the correct answer is 4. That is 0.4 hectare per day of 8 hours. I'll show you first. I'll show you what is the indigenous plow. Indigenous. This is the that is the native plow that we have always been used, right? Before the introduction of technology into the agriculture field. So this is the animal drawn plow. Animals, mainly bulls, they are used for drawing this flow, right? It penetrates in the soil and breaks it open. And what is the use of it? We do it for tillage only, right? To plow the land. And it forms V-shaped with 15 to 20 centimeter top width. Means if this is the soil, then this is the width, top width we are talking about. That would be what? That would be 15 to 20, and then 12 to 15 centimeter here depth. It can be used for plowing in dry land, garden land, and wetlands. It can be used anywhere in any type of field, and field capacity is 0.4 hectare per day of 8 hours. So if you are using per day for 8 hours, this particular plow, it is productive. See, like every machine, they have their limit. They cannot be pushed after that, right? So in case of in fact, even you are using inverter, after a while it would stop working if the electricity has been gone for many hours, right? So similarly, on an average, in scientific term you can say, or you can say in technical terms, this particular plow, it can help to plow 0.4 hectare per day of 8 hours. Okay, so I hope that is clear to you all. Now comes question number 8, that is the impeded inflorescence or bunch development in banana is referred to as. So here are the following options. So what is okay, so what I generally do, I always explain the question before telling you the answer, right? But this time I would not, because this word, I want you to guess what this particular impeded inflorescence, this particular phrase mean. So I'll explain what it is, but after you write the answer. Yeah, field capacity in general terms here in this question, although field capacity, if I go for general term in agriculture, it is a whole different concept. But according to the previous question, in reference to the previous question, field capacity basically means how much it can plow the field, the area of the field it can plow in a particular time period. That is what its field capacity is. Yeah, so people are writing 1, C, 2, 1. So, okay, so this is something that is very confusing. That is the first time I'm looking at various answer to one question, and the correct answer to this is option number 2, that is choking. Okay, so what is first of all impeded inflorescence? It means you can say restricted or slow down. What happens, especially in this term, that is choking, if the temperature it is less than 10 degrees centigrade for bananas, the bunch formation, the bunch development, bunch means basically you can say the fruit part that grows later into fruit. Inflorescence is growing of flowers, right? So in case of when then the temperature it is less than 10 degrees centigrade, the bunch development that should be the normal pace, that should have been in the normal pace, it decrease due to the decrease in the temperature. And this particular term, when it happens, this particular is known as what? This particular term is known as choking. Okay, so so yeah, that is the particular explanation to this question. If you have doubts, you can ask me. Until then, we'll move to the next question that asks, a young female chicken less than a year old is known as, we have a different, we have done a separate this particular top 200 question lectures on animal husband and poultry, that is lecture number 3. And in fact in previous lecture also I have told you that we have assigned different names to the different stages of the animals that we used in agriculture. So here the question asks about the female chicken that is less than a year old. Okay, so the correct answer to this is option number 2, that is pullet. Okay, that is a young hen that is under 1 year old. So what is a pullet or a young hen that has attained the physical maturity? What is a physical maturity? It has grown in size, it has a well developed feathers, everything, right? But it is still not developed to lay eggs. Those are known as pullets. If I'll read it out from here also, has not started laying eggs yet. So they have still not started laying egg, but they are fully grown. Fully grown, by fully grown means it has attained the physical maturity. Okay, so that is what is pullet. Okay, so I have I hope you understood this topic well. With full coat of shiny new feathers, however their body is still developing and isn't ready to lay. So means they haven't reached that internal maturity or the feminine maturity that is required to be a mother of or to lay eggs in case of chicken. Okay, okay. So we'll now come to question number 10, which says, which of the following agency issued the Ecomark logo? Yeah, so correct answer to this is BIS. So this is the Ecomark. We'll look at what it is and what is BIS also. So the full form is Bureau of Indian Standards. Okay, so check, it is a in general term. When we go for specific, for example, cow is a in general term, but then we have heard about heifer also, right? We have heard about bull also. So those are the different terms that is used for different categories. Now is the Bureau of Indian Standards, BIS. It is a full form of BIS. And what is the Ecomark? For example, we have different for example, in case of if something is vegetarian, we have a green mark, right? Something is non-vegetarian, we have that red mark to let people know that, oh, it is vegetarian or non-vegetarian food. Or for example, in case of normal electric appliances, we have those star marks. The more the stars, the more efficient is for it is for us, right? Similarly, there is one eco mark, and there are some standards, and if a particular product it follows that standard, it means it has the least impact on the ecosystem, means it harms the less. If a particular thing it has eco mark, means it somehow it harms the less the ecosystem. And this particular scheme, it was started in 1991 to protect the environment, because this is the need of the hour, or the climate change, all these things, greenhouse gases, global warming, everything, it is the main concern of us, of all of us, not in this particular 5 to 10 years, but it has been for many years. And that is why this particular thing uh, it was done. Okay, thank you, Deepika, for that. It really means a lot. And then question number 11, it says which of the following is not a in situ conservation methods of biodiversity. So there are two terms, one is in situ, one is ex situ. Because this particular everything it is related to in these two words only, that is why I'll explain these two words after you'll answer. Okay, so I'm waiting for the answers. Yeah, so Aviral says botanical garden. Yeah, Ankit says botanical garden. Ankit says 333. So yeah, so the correct answer is 3. That is botanical garden. Now there are two terms. One is in situ, one is ex situ. In means what? Inside, right? So what happens in situ conservation? Whatever animal or plant we are preserving or we are aiming to save, we save them or we protect them on their natural environment, in their natural environment. For example, I'll give you example of that of humans. For example, if in your family, okay, not for family, but if in someone's family, okay, not in your family, but if someone's family, a person, he's having a little bit of cold and a little bit of cough, so that person would be taken care in home only, right? What we do, you'd get some medicines from the pharmacy, or you can go for the nearest doctor clinic that is nearest to your home, right? But whatever treatment, that is eating khichdi and going for that without spice food, whatever you'll do, you'll do at home only. So that is in situ conservation. Ex situ means, ex means now outside, exterior. So what happens if that person, now he has severe cold and he has severe cough, maybe he has corona, right? So for that treatment, he would have to go to the hospital, he would have to be in the ICU if he is severe, right? So now, because a particular, here in case of in the context to the question, when some plant and or the animals, now they are much at greater risk of extinction, it is a severe case now. So what they are done, they are moved to a artificial condition where we provide them the proper nurturing that they need. For example, that is a just random example, so for you to understand. um, if there is one, just say, what I would say, let's say deer. Okay, if there's a deer and to that natural environment he does not have the food that it needs, what would happen, it would get extinct, because they not only they're not having food, but other carnivorous animal, they would attack them also, right? So now what they are done, now they are brought up to they are brought up to zoo, for example. Now they are shifted to zoo where they are taken proper care of, because first of all they do not have any threat of getting eaten by carnivores, and apart from that they'll also get the food, the proper food that is required for their growth or for their survival. So that is known as the ex situ conservation, where we move that particular animal or plant in an outer place to have proper care of it, and that is the relocation of the endangered or rare species. So in this case, national parks, wildlife sanctuary and biosphere reserve, these are the places that exist, that we have you can say we have made a particular radar or circumference, or we have named particular areas that yes, these are national parks, these are wildlife sanctuaries, so they are the places that exist naturally only. But now we have given this term so that for what happens in these places, many things are restricted. For example, anybody cannot go there, you cannot cut woods from there, even if you, there is a certain limit, so there is limitation in the natural environment. But botanical gardens, now this is the term, you can say it is kind of exhibition of plants there, you can say a botanical garden. So many kind of plants are brought there and they are taken proper care of. So I hope you understand this ex situ and in situ. Okay. Now, question number 12, it says optimum depth for sowing seeds of field crops ranges between. So there is a optimum means favorable, that if you have sown the seed in that depth, it would give you the best germination capacity that it can give. And you have to guess that which of the following is the correct answer. Okay, so Aviral, he says 5 to 7 centimeter. And Rishabh Raj says option number 2, that is 5 to 7. Ankit says 3 to 5 centimeter. Sangeeta also says E. Sangram, Millie says 2. Okay, so the correct answer to this is option number 5, that is 3 to 5 centimeters. See, now what happens? Usually, if you haven't sown in 3 to 5 centimeter depth, two things can happen. Either the seed it has been sown at more depth, or it would be nearer to the soil surface, right? These would be the two cases. If you have sown the seed at more depth, what would happen? How the seed grows, it push the soil to move upward, right? For the seedling or the shoot part to grow, it pushes the soil. So if what happened, if you have grown at a quite a more depth than required, it would take more energy for it to move forward. Okay, so that is why if you sow it a deeper depth, it they have to spend more energy for germination, right? But now what would happen, it would be nearer to the surface. Birds, they are easily accessible to the birds. Now birds, they could see it and they could eat it out. So that is why, or taken by the birds. Okay, so that is why this is the optimum depth that is considered. But yes, it can vary to plus minus 0.5 or 1. Why? Because you cannot just exactly sow in that particular area, right? So I hope you understand this particular concept. Now come to question number 13, which says, based on metabolism and photosynthesis, succulent plants are classified as. So succulent plants are those plants which store the water inside their body. Those are known as succulent plants, and you have to guess according to the way of the photosynthesis that they do. They are classified as which of the following options? So Supriya says 2. Sangeeta, she says 3. Devanjas says cam. Okay, Harsh says 2, Uttam 2, Purnima 2, Sfurti says 2, Sangeeta says cam. So the correct answer to this question is option number 2, that is cam. Okay, the answer is cam plants. What are these? I'll show you the example also. See, you must have seen such kind of plant. These also comes under succulent, right? So what happens, according to photosynthesis, these plants have been classified differently. And how they are classified, basically in case of, if you go for C3 and C4 plants, when photosynthesis is done, uh, whatever carbon number, the first product would be made in the photosynthesis process, if I'll go for simple terms. Okay, otherwise it is a very complex process and it is a very lengthy process, but for your general understanding, whatever would be the first compound of photosynthesis, that is not the end product, that is the first product that is made, which would again go on different changes and then finally land up to what we require. Okay, so what according to that, it is C3 and C4. So in C3 plants, first product would be of 3 carbon number, in 4 it would be of 4. In cam plants, what happens in cam plants, they respire in the evening or after the sunset. Why would they do so? See, originally the succulent plants, they existed in the areas, in the desert areas or in the dry region areas. So why used to see how the respiration would be done, sorry, photosynthesis, how it would be done. Here photosynthesis would not be the correct word. The correct word would be taking off of carbon dioxide, that is the respiration only. They used to, or they still do that in night, because in desert area, if they open the stomata, what is stomata? These are the small pores that is present on the leaves, and when stomata opens, then only the transfer of the exchange of gases that takes place. So if they would open their stomata in the during day or morning, because of the dry nature of that particular surrounding, the water, it would also evaporate or escape from those stomatas. Okay, what is the term? That is stomata. So what these plants do, they open the stomata at night, they collect whatever carbon dioxide they need for the photosynthesis. Then on next day, when it's morning, because for photosynthesis we require sunlight also. And then what would happen, then these whatever process that needs to happen in those plants, that would happen. So these kind of plants, they come under what? They come under camp plants, and there are only 8% of plant species on earth that are camp plants. Okay, so I hope this you understand this particular topic. Next question says, which of the following is a biofortified pure line variety of durum wheat containing high amount of protein, iron and zinc, notified in 2018 for cultivation in Maharashtra and Karnataka? Two terms, first is biofortified, and then what is durum wheat. So durum wheat is nothing but, see, there are different uh, varieties of wheat that is required for different purpose. For example, for making macaroni or pasta, different variety of wheat is required, which has more gluten in it, and sorry so different varieties is required which have more or less physical differences which would be required for that particular purpose. That is how they are categorized, and one of them is durum wheat. And biofortified basically means which have been genetically, we have not, they have not genetically evolved themselves, but we have done some genetic incorporation which improves the quality or the nutrient amount in that particular variety. So here in this particular durum variety, which you have to guess, it is high in protein, iron and zinc, and it was notified in 2018, means it was released in 2018 for the areas of Maharashtra and Karnataka. And no, we cannot use in every part of the state, because these varieties, they are made according to the certain environmental conditions. So this type of variety, it is according to the environmental conditions of Maharashtra and Karnataka. So the correct answer to this is option number 4, that is max 4028. If we go for this particular variety, it is a pure durum variety. It is high in protein and iron and zinc, and as the question said, in 2018 it was notified for Maharashtra and Karnataka. If we talk about its yield, its yielded is 19.3 quintal per hectare under rain-fed low fertility. What is rain-fed? The area that is dependent on rain for irrigation purpose or for watering of plants. Rain-fed. Okay, so means rain will feed the field. Alright, it matures in 102 days, and this particular variety is developed by Agharkar Research Institute, that is situated in Pune, Maharashtra, and of course it is under ICAR. Every institute that exists in India of agriculture, it comes under ICAR only, and it was the research project on wheat and barley. All right, next question, it says identify the agroclimatic zones based on the following information. These are the following information that has been given, which is this region includes eastern part of UP and Bihar plains. It is fertile alluvial plain drained by the Ganga and its tributary. Climate is moist subhumid to dry humid, that is G would be capital, right? Then annual rainfall is 1121 to 1470 nm. Now what happens, this particular, see, what are agroclimatic zones? When our India, it got independence, and much of the focus now it was shifted on agriculture. As India, it has varied climate or different type of climate exists in India, right? Some area, they are completely desert now, or some are on the verge of desert, but in other areas we observe floods, right? So because there are different climate that exists in India, so government, it felt a need to classify the land so that we have better understanding of the areas and we can function accordingly. So different departments or different institutes, they have made their own definitions, own categorizations. For example, ICAR, it has done approx 127 divisions, and this particular, it is related to the Planning Commission of India. They have classified the agroclimatic zones of India into 15 categories. And from this information, you have to guess that which of the following is the correct answer. Manjunath says 5, Shrikant says C, Purnima says 3, Aniket 3, Nivedita 3, Millie 3, and the correct answer to this is 3, that is Middle Gangetic Plain. So see how it looks like. These are the agroclimatic zones that have been given by whom? That have been given by the Planning Commission of India, and you can see the category here. But if we zoom in, this is a portion that has been asked in the question, and if we this is the particular area that we were talking about. This region includes eastern part of UP and Bihar plains. Then it is fertile alluvial plain. Why it is fertile? See, alluvial we have already done in previous lectures. So if you haven't studied, just check it out. Check out the previous lectures to have better understanding of some of the things, so that you do not get confused when we introduce a new term, right? So why these plains are alluvial? Because first of all, we have studied alluvial soil would be where would be a river system. Here Ganga and its tributary, they form a river system, and that is why it is a alluvial plain. Climate is moist subhumid to dry humid. Why this word humid is been used here? Because this Ganga system or the tributaries, because water is present in the area, so there would be moisture in the atmosphere. I hope you're getting this point of it, right? So that is why this term humid has been written. Now annual rainfall is 1211 to 1470 mm, depending on the conditions, right? Why would there would be rainfall more? Because there would be a good amount of evaporation that would take place from this area due to the presence of Ganga and its tributaries. Okay, 40% of the total cropped area is irrigated. Irrigated means to artificially supply water in a field, that is irrigation. And rest and cropping intensity is 142. Cropping intensity, basically it is how much crops that are sown in a particular area in 1 year. And then main crops of this area are sugarcane, paddy, maize, wheat. These are the main crops. So here you have 15 categories. This was just one example that what kind of question can come. So you can look at these 15 climatic agroclimatic zones that have been made to have just an idea that what kind of climate exists in which part of this. Okay. Question number 16, it says, in which of the following soils the sodium ions are present in soluble form in the soil water? Now I have incorporated in this particular question because most of the people, if you have studied agriculture or you have studied in, I guess in geography also it would come, people are confused between saline and alkaline because the composition is same. Both have sodium in it, sodium ion, or salt in it. Both have salts in it. So that is why I've incorporated in question so that you can get to know what is the difference between the two. Okay. Aniket says 4. Aviral says alkaline. Sangeeta says 4. Harsh says 3. Supriya. And I was waiting for the correct answer, but none of you gave it. The correct answer is saline salts. See, that is why this particular differentiation is not what many people get. Okay, what happens? See, both are basic in nature. Okay, so both have pH more than 7. They are basic in nature. But what happens in saline soil? These saline soils, they are mostly present around the water bodies. Okay, so in southern part you can say, so, or the sea water. What happens? The sea water, it splashes the land, and much of the sea it is dissolved in water. So just for simple meaning, just go for saline soils. They have sodium ions present in the soluble form in water. So in that the water is present, sodium ions are there, but they are in the soluble state with water because their water capacity is more, or the water quantity is more, and that is why that's for example, if you have simple glass of water and if you're mixing salt with it, common salt is NaCl. So this Na is sodium ion only. So when you mix it, it easily mixes, right? So similarly it happens in the natural condition also. But in case of alkaline soil, these sodium ions, they are attached to the negatively charged sides of the clay. What happens in soil, these have small particles. Soils, they are smallest particle, so they carry charge, especially clay. Clay is a type texture of soil. It carries negative charge. Now these sodium ions, because sodium ions are positive in nature, right? And if we are going for NaCl, here Na is positive, Na is positive and Cl is negative. So this Na, it attract itself to the negatively charged clay. So here this particular positive ion, it is combined with the negative ion. So that is why it cannot be formed in the dissolved state. So that is the difference. If somebody is saying what is saline alkaline, the major difference it would be because they are now one more thing. How, see, everything is interlinked. So if, because the sodium ions, they are dissolved in water, so that is why they are good conductor of electricity, because ions, they also play a major role in electricity. And what is current, that is the movement. If you are a science student or you have a science background, somehow you would know that how electricity is produced when ions or when electrons, they move from one place to another. And because these ions of sodium, they are freely dissolved in water, so they can move freely, and that is why they are good conductor of electricity. While in case of alkali soils, because the water the particles sorry the ions of sodium, they are attached with the clay, so they are not, they do not move. So yes, that is the thing, that is the difference. I hope you understood. And they are also known as sodic soils. So these are alkali soils only, those are known as sodic soils. Mostly people have confusion that saline soils also have sodium present in them and alkali soils also have sodium in them. So what is the difference between these two? And that is why I have incorporated this question. Okay. Next question, it says question number 17, which says when present in excess, phosphorus can interfere with which of the following mineral? So if plants, they require they have certain plant minerals that have been that are required by them, and if those mineral nutrients, they are present in lesser quantity or the excess quantity than that is required by the plant, they show some symptoms. We have already covered of nitrogen, both of the deficiency of nitrogen and both of the excess of nitrogen. If anybody is following this whole lecture series, I would be very happy if you would remember this that, and if you would comment down that in this comment section, so that I'll get to know how much you are studying or how much you are prepared for examination. So my question apart from this is, we have already studied that due to the deficiency of nitrogen and also due to the excess of nitrogen, what different symptoms that the plant shows. Okay, so for example, in case of okay, first you will comment down, then I'll tell the answer. But here first, so nobody is typing. Okay, Manjuna says 1 calcium, Sujan says E, Purnima says B, Aniket says zinc, Emmanuel says D, Nivedita 4, Anshu D. Okay, so the correct answer to this one is E, that is all of the above. Nobody has written till now about the nitrogen, so I'll just say it by myself. Okay, in case of nitrogen, we have studied that due to excess of it, abortion of flowers, they happen. So what is abortion of flowers? Basically the flowers, they will grow, but they would die after that. What is the role of flower? To turn into a fruit, but that does not happen, and that is known as abortion of flowers. And that is due to what? That is due to the excess of nitrogen. Here in that case, a particular symptom or a particular defect in plant occur due to the excess of nitrogen. But in case of phosphorus, it does not directly affect the plant, but it hinders or it stops or it interferes with the rest, some of the minerals that has been mentioned here, that is calcium, zinc, iron and manganese. Okay, and what would happen if there is excess of phosphorus? These would not able to function what they were supposed to do. So that is why due to excess of this, the following the minerals that had been mentioned, they in the phosphorus, it interferes with them. Now we'll go for both. If we are studying about phosphorus, we'll go for both deficiency and excess. Excess we have already done, that it does not have direct effect as that in case of nitrogen, where the flowers, they die, but here it interferes with the functioning of some other. Okay, in case of deficiency, this purple color in nitrogen also we have completed in previous lecture. In nitrogen also, I have also shown you the pic, because yellowing, it occurs in many type of deficiencies. In nitrogen we have a particular type of pattern that is followed in plant. Similarly, if a plant, it is deficient in phosphorus, it would show what? It would show this purple color in the older leaves. So older leaves, that they would be obviously present in the lower portion of the plant, so they turn purple, and you do not have to confuse it with the normal ornamental plants that you have seen purple in color. Okay, so this particular thing. And there is a particular, in pepper case, there is a specific disease that is known as sickle cell disease, sickle leaf disease, that is caused due to the deficiency of phosphorus. I hope this particular concept is clear to you all. Next comes question number 18, that which of the following crop is most suitable for reducing soil erosion? And you have to tell me the correct answer of that. So there's a logic behind it. And see, it is not necessary that in examination you will be asked direct question. Once if I'll tell you the explanation of this thing, you would find this question very easy. For now, if you're getting confused that what would be the answer, because when we are thinking about a specific name of a particular crop, then a person generally freaks out, because every person cannot read every type of plant variety, right? But in this particular way, Aviral says groundnut, Aniket says groundnut, Manjunath says groundnut, Nitish says which is more suitable for reducing soil erosion. Okay, so the correct answer to this is option number 3, that is groundnut. Now how? See, there are two categories of plants. One is erosion permitting and one is erosion resistant. What is erosion? The movement of soil from one place to another. This could be due to water, this could be due to wind. Now if you look at the two particular sets of images that I have exposed to you. First is the example, this is that of maize. Second is that of groundnut only. Now if the particular area it is prone to soil erosion, you have to choose the crop wisely. In case of first one, that is the erosion permitting crops, to this category, if you look at the picture, you can see there's a lot of area that is exposed to the environment, that is exposed for water or for wind to work its own way, and the soil it can be eroded in that way. But in second picture, you can see the foliage, it is so dense. It would also reduce the speed of water when artificial water is provided to the field, that is irrigation. And it would also, the wind, it would not have that much effect on the soil, right? So due to the foliage that they have, we classify them as erosion permitting and erosion resistant. So if that area it is prone to soil erosion, you should not go for such tall plants or tall trees that would promote erosion, such as sorghum, maize, pearl millet. They have height. The plant are very heighted, but then in those cases you have to go for dense canopy over and robust root system. So their root system is also good, that would help to bind the soil strongly, and that would help to reduce the soil erosion. Okay, so I hope this particular thing it is clear to you all. Let's move to question number 19, which says the form of irrigation which is used for growing trees in orchard is. And here are the 5 options, and you have to guess the correct one, right? So yeah, so the correct answer to this option is option number 2, that is ring basin irrigation. See, what is surface irrigation? Irrigation, now you know that when we artificially supply water into the field. Now there are two categories. One, in surface irrigation only we have flood irrigation, then we have basin irrigation. Both these two, they come under basin irrigation. Okay, now in basin we have two categories. Flood is flood irrigation, I'll tell you everyone. Okay, so first one is the flood irrigation. Flood irrigation means when you just allow the water to move in the field without any control. So that is the flood irrigation, as you can see in the picture also. Now these two, they come under basin irrigation. So you make a boundary so that water it can stay in that particular place. And see, in first case the water, you can see it just run off, but in second cases the water stays there, and the root, they can get the water properly. The water properly percolate means downward movement of water in that particular root zone. That is what required. So second is check basin. Here you can see the water, we have many bunds, as you can see. So water, it would move from here, and then particular what space has been left for the water to move to enter each section. So that is the check basin irrigation. And the third one is ring basin irrigation, that is followed. Orchard is where the trees, right, they are grown. So in this area, as you can see, ring basin irrigation, bund that is of ring shape that is made, and then water it is given in that particular portion so that it can percolate easily. Okay. So yeah, that is question number 19. Next, last comes, which of the following is a non-edible oilseed crop? What are oilseed crop? Oilseed means crop or the seeds that are required for what? That are from which we extract oil. That is what a oilseed crop is. Now there are of two types. One are edible, second is non-edible. Edible is that we can eat or we can consume. Others are which we cannot consume, but they are used in different purpose. They can be used in medical purpose. They can be used in beauty field. Okay. So beauty industries. So you have to guess that which of the following we cannot consume. Everybody is saying 4. And the correct answer to this is option number 4, that is castor seeds only. So there are two categories edible that we can consume, that is groundnut, soybean, sunflower, safflower. But some oils we cannot consume, such as karanja, then we have mahua, then we have castor seeds. Okay, I hope today's lecture was fruitful for you all, and that is all for today. We do 20 questions every day. We'll meet again tomorrow with new sets of questions, and yeah, so thank you all for joining today's session. That is all. Until then,